What's going on, guys? We're back with the Odin Project, and we are 57% through foundations, and we are on Flexbox Axis. Alright, let's see how the orientation of items within a flex container can be controlled using the flex direction property. This section contains a general overview of topics that you will learn in this lesson. You'll learn about two axes of a flex container. You'll learn how to change those axes to arrange your content in columns instead of rows. The most confusing thing about Flexbox is that it can work either horizontally or vertically, and the way some rules work changes a bit depending on which direction you are working with. The default direction for a flex container is horizontal or row, but you can change the direction to vertical or column. The direction can be specified in CSS like so. Okay, that's cool. Good to know. No matter which direction you're using, you need to think of your flex containers as having two axes. The main axis and the cross axis. It is the direction of these axes that changes when the flex direction is changed. In most circumstances, flex direction row puts the main axis horizontal left to right, and the column puts the main axis vertical top to bottom. In other words, in our very first example, we put display flex on a div and it arranged its children horizontally. This is a demonstration of flex direction row, the default setting. The following example is very similar. If you uncomment the line that says flex direction column, those divs will stack vertically. So let's take this out and take that out, and there they go. One thing to note is that in this example, flex direction column would not work as expected if we used the shorthand flex1. Try it out now. Go change the flex value on the flex11 auto line. Okay, so let's do flex1. Yep, I put it all together. Can you figure out why it does not work if flex1 is used? The divs collapse, even though they clearly have a height defined there. The reason for this is that the flex shorthand expands flex basis to 0, which means that all flex growing and flex shrinking will begin their calculations from 0. Empty divs by default have 0 height, so for our flex items to fill up the height of their container, they don't actually need to have any height at all. The example above fixed this by specifying flex11 auto, telling the flex items to default to their given height. We could also have fixed it by putting a height on the parent flex container or by using flexgrow1 instead of the shorthand. Another detail to notice: when we change the flex direction to column, flex basis refers to height instead of width. Given the context, this may be obvious, but it's something to be aware of. We've strayed from the point slightly. We were talking about flex direction and axis. To bring it back home, the default behavior is flex direction row, which arranges things horizontally. The reason this often works well without changing other details in the CSS is because block level elements default to the full width of their parent. Changing things to vertical using flex direction column adds complexity because block level elements default to the height of their content, and in this case there is no content. There are situations where the behavior of flex direction could change if you are using a language that is written top to bottom or right to left, but you should save worrying about that until you are ready to start making a website in Arabic or Hebrew. This section contains questions for you to check your understanding. Okay, how do you make flex items arrange themselves vertically instead of horizontally? You change it to flex, what was it? Flex direction column, not row. In a column flex container, what does flex basis refer to? Flex basis would be it refers to the height, I think. Yes, I was right. In a row flex container, what does flex basis refer to? The width. Why do the previous two questions have different answers? Because one's doing vertically and one's doing horizontally. Alright, and then there's a Flexbox visual cheat sheet we're going to take a peek at. This is pretty helpful. need to start bookmarking these items here. Let's do, I want this new folder to be new folder, and we're going to do cheat sheets, and we're going to save it there. And I also need to do that HTML almanac thing in there too. But we're going to go ahead and mark this one complete, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!